Imagine a practice so ingrained in a culture that it endured for roughly 1,000 years, altering the physical form and impacting the lives of millions. Picture this: young girls, barely 6 or 7 years old, enduring excruciating pain as their feet are tightly bound, crippling them for life. This was no figment of imagination or horror story. This was the reality of foot binding in China. The tale of foot binding begins in the Song Dynasty, around the 10th century. It is said that the practice was inspired by a court dancer named Yao Niang, who bound her feet into the shape of a new moon and danced on her toes inside a 6-foot golden lotus. Her dance was so enchanting that it captivated the heart of the emperor and set a trend that would persist for centuries. As time passed, the practice of foot binding began to filter down through society. During the Song Dynasty, it became an essential part of the marriage process. Young girls had their feet bound to improve their prospects of finding a suitable husband. A pair of tiny, well-bound feet, or lotus feet, was a symbol of beauty, status, and a good upbringing. The binding process was far from pleasant. It began when a girl was around 5 to 7 years old. The feet were soaked in a warm mixture of herbs and animal blood to soften the flesh. Then, all the toes, except the big ones, were broken and folded under the sole. The feet were then bound in place using long strips of cloth. The procedure was painful and could lead to numerous health issues, including infection and lifelong disability. The practice of foot binding continued unabated through the Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. Despite some attempts to ban foot binding during the Qing dynasty, it wasn't until the early 20th century that the tide began to turn. The arrival of Christian missionaries and their condemnation of the practice, combined with the pressure from reform-minded Chinese intellectuals, led to the formation of the Anti-Foot Binding Society in 1895. Finally, in 1912, with the establishment of the Republic of China, foot binding was officially outlawed. However, the practice didn't disappear overnight. It took decades to fully eradicate it, with the last known Lotus shoe factory closing down in 1999. To conclude, foot binding was a deep-rooted tradition in Chinese culture, lasting for about 1,000 years. It began as a symbol of beauty and status, inspired by a court dancer, and evolved into a prerequisite for marriage. Despite the pain and health issues it caused, foot binding endured until the early 20th century, when societal pressure and legal prohibition led to its decline. This journey through history provides a stark reminder of the lengths societies can go to in the pursuit of beauty and status. It encourages reflection on our own societal norms and the potential harm they may cause. History, as it unfolds, often serves as a mirror, reflecting both the beauty and the grotesqueness of human civilization.